Hello, everyone. I'm the captain for this stream. We are almost ready to have the most epic showdown 20 years in the making between two
20.
rivals, two best friends turned enemies. No, it's actually not going to be that epic. I'm sorry, I can't continue with this. But it's going to be on Brood War first to start things off for a best of one, and that's always pretty cool. They're actually going to be playing their main races as well. So Artosis, the Terran player in Brood War, versus In Control, the Zerg in Brood War. The only trick is that we don't know how to get into their lobby because Brood War is Brood War, but we'll figure that one out. I'm Zombregub casting with Rifkin, and there is going to be StarCraft 2 after this for everyone who's like, Brood War, that's for chumps. There's StarCraft
Yeah,
2 after.
it's one Brood War match and then two StarCraft 2 matches. Now, I don't know if this is like a conventional best of 3 and we play only 2 games total if it's a 2-0, or if they're playing everything out. We're just kind of rolling with the punches. We're invited to cast this, and Cobra seemed to have some fun setting it up, so should be
Yeah.
some good times. I need to show this off though so I can eat it because I'm fucking hungry. Guys, our toast is in control. We've never had more of like an old school all American show match before. And in celebration of this, I made the most American dish I could think of: chicken and waffles. Something that I
It's
learned about
basically chicken
recently in
nuggets,
my
though.
endeavors to the States.
It's like chicken tendies, which
It's like, okay, it's chicken tendies and like Eggo waffles. It's the best I could do on short notice, okay?
because like the stupidest thing is, and this is I'm not really from the South, and like I don't think chicken and waffles are good, so I'm not defending anything. But I feel like there's gonna be like someone's mom from the deep South is gonna come across this stream and see what you're eating and just actually die from a heart attack, right? Because it's supposed to
She's
be
gonna be
like
like,
good old fashioned like fried chicken with some homemade waffles. What are you doing to me, kid?
Artosis is in chat channel based trade TV, by the way. Asking if it's actually me because my name on Brood War is XXSSJ69 Rifkin XX. I am the problem with everybody. I will say I didn't think this through. I made this about 20 minutes ago. It's cold and soggy.
Also, there's no maple syrup, and I feel like part of the appeal is that you have like the sweetness on both the different types of food.
No, there is. I put syrup on this. That's the thing. It's soaked into the waffles. Now it's just soggy
Yeah,
syrup sponge.
you definitely didn't think that through.
No, I goofed up. But this is dinner, guys. So just give me a sec while I eat. While I get this first game. Ooh, I would say this much. The syrup that dipped in or soaked into the tendies, it's not bad.
Yeah, I feel like most of the appeal
Like
is
the,
like
the waffle is the worst
waffles.
part of this.
Okay, well, I thought the appeal of chicken and waffles was like the waffles because waffles are delicious, so I can't really explain that part. But that maple syrup, something sweet on top of like the fried chicken, actually sounds like it'd be decent. I always thought that's why, because they were like, we can't just put maple syrup on chicken, like fried chicken. That's just like that's like too American. That's like too fat. So what if we just put like waffles with our fried chicken? Because then at least we have an excuse to also put maple syrup on. And people were like, yes, let's do
so
that.
so the waffles are just an excuse. Got it.
Yes, exactly. I think that's my hypothesis of how chicken and waffles came to be, but I've never really looked into it. It's kind of weird. A lot of what is because people say like, well, like pies aren't really American, hamburgers aren't American. Anything that you can think of that basically only exists in America, like grits and stuff, is very deep south, like chicken and waffles. Like no other country wants to take credit for that.
Why would they? Grits are fucking disgusting, dude.
They're delicious when you mix the cheese and like the butter and stuff in them. I like them with just a little bit of salt and butter, but they're supposed to, you're basically gonna make a concoction that is you don't even taste the grits anymore if you're gonna do it, I guess,
I'm gonna be honest.
correctly.
I feel like I wasted time with the waffles. I am not gonna eat that other waffle. But the tendies are still, well, room temperature, very legit.
Okay, well, I had pizza for dinner. My mom was like, like as soon as I went downstairs, she was like, "Do you want to get pizza?" And then we went to like a pizza place, like not like Domino's or Papa John's, something like that. And it wasn't really, how like there's a difference between like fast food pizza and like fancy restaurant pizza.
I am join the lobby and Control's telling you a story.
Join the lobby. I
Yeah.
don't know. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. Brood Warriors continues to be a mystery. So That's what it was. It was like restaurant pizza, and it just wasn't. It's not like, I don't know. I really actually wanted Domino's pizza, so I was a bit disappointed. But I'm not hungry, and it wasn't that American either. Not Angel, sorry. Rifkin is the one that's really excited that these are very American people, and it just never
No.
really occurred to me.
Are you reading what In Control's writing?
No.
Okay, so In
Well, I'm
Control's
reading
like, let
some
me
of
tell
it.
you guys a story about Dan Artosis, who messages me, where you at Battle.net, where you could only message me if I was on the server. And then he doesn't hear my response because he has my whispers blocked and starts to panic at why I'm not responding. Oh, why does he have him blocked?
No, he has whispers blocked. Like, he's tired of getting whispers from people who beat him on ladder type
Oh.
thing.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. I just thought he blocked him because like he lost the In Control in a practice match, and he's like, "Fuck you," and blocks him or something. Like,
Yeah.
we got the all-American heroes, guys. In Control and Artosis. Oh, I know Circuit Breaker.
Do you?
This was one of those the maps that they brought over for. You remember there that star this or what was it called?
Well, there's
The
Pro
not
League.
quite Brood War, not quite StarCraft. You remember?
Are you talking about the hybrid Pro League? Oh, no,
No,
you're
we
talking about that
cast a bunch of it.
custom. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't remember what it was called, though. If that was your next question, I don't remember what it was called.
Well, you know what I'm talking about.
I do, yes, you're right. That, like, I was gonna say, I don't think they actually ported Circuit Breaker over. So unfortunately, I couldn't get a AI versus AI game. So now I have to fiddle with this overlay a little bit, but there, I fiddled with it. It's perfect now.
I have immediately been reminded that you cannot middle mouse scroll on Brood War. Holy shit. Oh my god.
Preview of what that looks like. So yeah, I wasn't able to do any balancing either. Hopefully. Wait, I don't hear sounds. Give me the mineral sounds.
Who are you looking at? Let's start these intros while you fiddle with that.
Yeah, okay. Well, we have very loud music. On the top right, as the purple Terran, it is Artosis.
And his opponent, the red Zerg in the top left. In Control TV.
Yeah, I really need to go into
Dude, does this still work? Can you still do this?
Okay, good. I found it. Okay, there we go. Guys,
I would do that, or I would type like nuclear launch detected, and you'd have 1 in 10 people who would be like, "Wait, what? How do you already have nukes out?"
We want that. We want that, and we want this. Okay. Guys, let me know how the sounds are. I can't quite tell, but yeah. When we go over StarCraft, hopefully everything's gonna be balanced. But Brood War, I haven't cast streamed Brood War. I think, well, in a very long time. I guess last time would be like CSL. But for anyone who's confused, and we're like, why are you watching Brood War? Well, I feel like that might be a little more obvious. Like, these guys play a lot of Brood War. They really were hype about StarCraft Remastered, and that's their roots, is that they play Brood War. Some of you, though, might be like, why are they playing these races? Or maybe you're thinking, oh, they're off-racing because that's what they're going to do in StarCraft 2. That's going to be an off-race show match. No, this is actually their main races of StarCraft 1. This is actually what they used to play, and what they still play when they stream StarCraft 1.
I forgot how much you could zoom in and zoom out. Oh my god, you can almost zoom out the entire length of the map.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, when it doesn't take that much processing power to load up a Brood War game, why not?
I can't put my camera on yours, right?
Oh, you can barely get. Oh, that's gonna be really annoying. No, you cannot. Damn it.
Okay, well, as the fiddling and fidgeting goes down, as Nabri to mention, it's 1 Brood War match into StarCraft 2 matches. And I'm always a bit interested in this because I never followed Brood War super hardcore back in the day. I don't know the meta of play. I don't even fucking know what builds are when it comes down to it. But I know what looks like fun battles when they happen. And there was that one guy, the Korean, who was upsetting everybody. He showed us some cool stuff with like move commanding SCVs to break stasis, or not stasis. I guess it's stasis in this game. And there's just a lot of really cool nuances to Brood War that I can appreciate, even though I don't watch this game religiously. So, hoping for some cool stuff. Thank you, Sneaky Larva, for the information. F6 to default the zoom. Oh, this is so much better. I really appreciate that tip. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Shroom5, for the 46-month resub. Now, I do have 3 hatch, which is exactly what the SB wanted to scout. I know an okay amount about how these guys play, so here's my chance to sound smart. In Control, I think his reasoning, and I'm pretty
nice
sure about
catch.
this. Very nice catch. He doesn't actually go Spire like most Zerg players do in this matchup, you know, Spire into Lurkers, and I think his reason, he said this himself, is that he doesn't actually have a lot of confidence in controlling them. He can. I think there's been enough games where he's done it, but actually his default is to go into a lot of Hydras and just straight into Lurkers, which Artosis would of course know, but in terms of like who's been beating out who in all those show matches we had last year, I think In Control showed to be the better player.
I'm just really upset you didn't make a In Control pun with Aspire when you're talking about the mutas, but
Sorry.
mutas are very interesting actually because I know that they had a much bigger role. You got people like Jadong who got super famous off of their control of them, right? And then you look at them in StarCraft 2 and they're abused now and again, but you just don't get that same hype. Nobody's quite like making their career off mutas. And I guess more importantly, the micro around stacking them.
Yeah, Muta Micro is just not nearly the same in StarCraft 2. I mean, it's important when you make mutas to have decent micro, and you can kind of tell the difference between pro and casuals in StarCraft 2, but in Brood War, it is immediately obvious, and it is such a important factor of making them even good units that even a guy like In Control, who played this game for a very long time, was very, very good as far as non-Koreans went. Like, you know, he just straight up admits, like, it's not the best, you know, I feel maybe Lurkers are stronger for me personally. And he is going for that Hydra stand, not the Spire. So there you go. At least I don't have a lair
Also-
yet, but I mean, yeah, whatever.
Someone mentioned my mic sounds a little funny. I've reset it. Hopefully that's better, but lots of lanes
yeah.
on the outside and a bunker to hold with a couple of medics. I mean, you don't have to be a big expert in Brood War to know medics are pretty freaking nice.
You do have to be a bit of an expert, though, to realize how this dynamic can work. I guess expert's a strong word, but, like, medics are nice. Like, all the units in Brood War are really stupid. So, In Control, if you ever got, like, a surround on these units without that Fire Bat, it actually wouldn't look that poor for the Zerglings.
Also, I was not aware, but I am now that In Control has a Bowsette Twitch emote. I am absolutely 100% rooting for In Control now. I'm sorry, Artosis. Please die.
Oh, gosh. So another thing to note is that, you know, some people are saying, like, yeah, practice-wise, Artosis is getting more, and I do believe that's true. In Control has done less StarCraft Remastered since, like you know, months ago. But In Control, as far as I understand it, and it kind of, you know, just by the Hydra first thing is kind of already there as evidence, he has a really weird style. So, and Artosis is very much like a guy who's like, well, this is how things are done, so why do you do something different? Like, he's like Idra, except he was a lot nicer. So In Control is kind of like the foil to Artosis, and I believe Artosis has talked about it being really annoying. Like, he finds facing In Control to be a bit of a challenge because he just doesn't do the normal stuff.
Oh, so In Control's like me in this situation.
Yes,
I am
yeah.
super rooting for In Control now.
Exactly.
Well, we got quite a few Marines on the outskirts, but with these sunken colonies, I mean, there's just no pushing into that too easily, I'd imagine.
Nah, especially because, you know, there's probably Lurkers very soon being made. Not quite yet, but...
I remember you highlighting this back when we were doing Starbow. That's what it was called.
Aha!
How your third base as a Zerg isn't like what it is in StarCraft 2. You don't take it close at home. You try and take it far away. He's even got some Lurker eggs coming on this ramp too to block, which is awesome because, of course, eggs got all that armor. Lurkers finish up, burrows them, kills the Marines. Look at this. It's messing with his ability to push up the ramp. This was such a clever move out of Control. I like this a lot. And then, big oof.
Yeah. That is a very important timing that, you know, has to be made, and with the Lurkers being faster for In Control, no mutas to make. Artosis was trying. He was trying to get that timing, barely didn't get it. Now he's gonna get surrounded. Now, Artosis didn't want to lose those units. That's, you know, it's not right to say, like, well, he doesn't care about that, but they're being replaced, and he's going up to Science vessel soon enough with a starport, perhaps a dropship. They are still the fast units to be replaced. We might see a transition to mech later, or maybe like losing tanks is a lot more devastating, but he has another force to try and control the map. That's kind of what it's there for. Actually, what are we gonna see from this?
Drones transfer so like inelegantly in this match. Also, I guess one of the things to highlight too is, once again, Lurkers are kind of cool but they just sound better in Brood War. Does anyone else agree? Just saying.
Lurkers 100%
Yeah, dude.
sound better. That's why I made that
Their
video.
attack is savage. Yo, what's the how do I put this in SD again? How do you what's the button
F5,
for that?
I think.
F5. Yeah. Oh, this is so cool. I love going retro.
If you guys want to see it.
Don't zoom out all the way retro though. You can't tell what anything is anymore.
I just like it's shocking to me now. I haven't watched so much StarCraft Remastered to look at it in standard. But anyways, let's go back to HD. So someone asked in chat like, was it worth all that bio for one lurker? No, but it's I don't know if it's like the worst trade really, just because I don't like it's bio like it is replaceable. It just was they're supposed to kind of posture and maybe wait for medevacs or drop ships or science vessels, and then he's gonna the point is to control the middle of the map and then also try and get some damage done to the third. And now he's down to like 2 groups of units. This bunker's kind of cute. He's not even really harassing or poking, and this is where In Control probably feels very comfortable. For anyone who's very unfamiliar with this dynamic, as I'm sure many of you are, imagine Zerg as being the Protoss race, as we know Protoss in StarCraft 2. So it makes a lot of sense that like In Control moved to Protoss for StarCraft 2. Like the person who's scarier is the Zerg if you give them time to build that army. Their army seems almost unbeatable when it gets to like a really good unit composition. So it's scary, and it's also supposed to be harassed a little bit more, so we do have that dropship now coming in.
Yeah, it does get seen on the way in. Scourge coming out too to blow up that dropship, but the Marines has got to be dealt with. You can't just, he's got nothing here right now, so the drones get pulled away.
Yeah, the Scourge do find the dropship, so I mean it's expensive. Dropships are expensive, unlike warp prisms. But it is doing the damage he was hoping for, and even gonna maybe target down a lurker here. Nicely done. Maybe a second one. That is really, really nice. And even running away here is just, it's forcing Control to focus on other things, but it would be far great if there's also a drop happening or something like that over to the bottom left. There's no such thing as a reactor in this game, so you gotta wait very patiently for those drop ships. And you also have to, worry about including science vessels. You need that detection for the lurkers. Scans aren't super reliable, and you're also going to need a radiate. So, that one dropship and that was it. Now he has science vessels being produced.
You know what I love, by the way? This is available in co-op for StarCraft 2 and Brood War, apparently. You can see where the players are looking, the cameras on the minimap. It's really awesome to look at.
Yeah. This is a really nice concave. In Control, without any map presence, had no idea where that army was. But even if Artosis, like, this looks like a totally, like, if Artosis was StarCraft 2 Terran, this is just like, well, how in the hell does In Control hold? In Control just buys more time until he gets to Defilers, but he's nowhere close to it. So he's actually trying to engage, which, I don't know, feels a little dangerous to me, but this is like one of the Defender's advantages of Circuit Breaker, are these 2 little bridges. Very annoying to get through.
And of course, Defense Matrix goes down on the tank, so it can take a few more shots if it needs.
Why don't they have tasteless casting this? Oh, I just need to call you out on stream. It'd be great.
That's a great question.
I'm not gonna lie. Tasteless casting Brood War with his 2 little buddies would be fantastic. But you think it's gonna happen? I don't know.
I'm glad we could be the plan C to your action plan of enjoyment for this cast, but I love this. He snipes off that science vessel. I was gonna say Raven, just that I have it. So that's gonna remove detection without scans, and it's gonna be harder to take those lurkers on without it, especially when you're stuck with just a bunch of Marines.
Yeah. So that without the tank, and actually the tank production seems to be very low. Okay, there's a lot more coming out now. Unless you get that like ideal concave like you had a minute ago, you're just not going to really take on lurkers. And hopefully this is also maybe a time where In Control decides to go for, okay, there finally is the Queen's Nest, kind of the equivalent to an Devastation Pit, so he is finally making that move to Hive. And once he has Defilers, the ultimate goal of Hive, you have to get Hive, then Defiler Mounds, then Consume, and then you have Defilers. Your army is like, at times it will defeat armies of 50 plus supply above it. It's just insane.
I guess for our regular StarCraft fans who don't really follow Brood War or weren't into it back in the day, Defilers have an ability that was like fungal growth on crack. It's what fungal growth wishes it was.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, Defiler is like, it's the best of Viper and Infestor. It's just a really good unit, and yet In Control, I think, has made claims that it's not that good, so. That was one of my favorite, actually, like, points of contest between these two guys, was like, I think In Control said they weren't that good, and Artosis was just like, looking at him with that really shocked Artosis face. You guys know what I'm talking about. But anyways, this is almost able to kill the command center, which would have been a really good grab. Unfortunately, now it is going to cost him most of the lurkers.
Yeah, Irradiate actually helped take care of a lot of those. Of course, the little cloud doesn't show up while they're burrowed, but the science vessels did work with the tanks. On the right side, that base out of Artosis isn't looking so snug right now. There's a bunker, but I guess nothing's inside of it. The rest of the army's collapsing from the north. So you gotta deal with those lurkers, pushes through them. Not too bad. You should be able to hold this.
I do wonder if this was the smartest thing for In Control to do. Like, I mean, obviously he thought he was going to catch the army out of position, I think is what his plan was, and it almost happened. It just was not super well timed, but this is one of those things where if Defilers are also here, this is... The dynamic shifts from, like, maybe getting a concave, maybe having tanks to kind of take away the lurker presence, to then having to use the science vessels to constantly irradiate Defilers, take them out of the equation, and at least trade. All the meanwhile just, like, waiting for Dark Swarm to disappear. It's a very obnoxious spell. This actually goes suddenly very poorly.
And I'm not trying to treat everyone like dummies. I'm just trying to include everybody, guys. Irradiate's an ability the science vessel gets that puts like this little green cloud on any biological unit. It does a lot of damage to them and units they're immediately touching. So it's not so easy to scout it on the lurkers, but it's really nice because it just nukes them while they're burrowed in the ground.
Yeah. We do have like really solid tank production now at 3 tanks. I'm surprised they didn't go for a second science vessel though. As far as like I knew for the time I was kind of watching Brood War, it was like either like a mass bio with science vessels called like SK Terran, or it was a transition to mech eventually. But that doesn't seem to be what Artosis was planning for either way. And that, I mean, the reason you get all the science vessels is so you get more radiates. They're really powerful spells. They work against everything. They kill most things. And they are the only thing that will pierce through the Dark Swarm to kill the Defilers most of the time.
So In Control does take care of the middle right base. By the way, a lot of SCVs dying and too many lurkers for him to push into. The Marines are just dying. They have a lot of trouble, frankly.
Yeah. Of course, all this miscontrol is going back to the fact that Artosis has to 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A with this army that he has now. Whereas In Control, still at a a lower army type, is kind of just 1A, 2Aing. Now here come the irradiates on the lurkers. It's kind of hard sometimes to see which one is irradiated when they're burrowed, but there you go, for instance. But at such a kind of a low science vessel count, Scourge, what are you doing? Like, they're already out of energy, and if Scourge start hitting them, then Artosis is actually going to be at a lack for very, very strong units, but his tank count will certainly be good.
What I find so fantastic about this, by the way, Taxlo on the top side, I know Artosis plays this game a lot. He streams it a lot. I've watched him countless hours playing Brood War, or StarCraft Remastered. I don't know how much In Control really puts into this, but it's kind of cool, because if the assumption is he doesn't play much, and this is just like riding a bicycle for him, he's playing really well.
It is. I mean, I think it goes to that thing where, like, it's a different style, and also just maybe In Control has that like higher basis skill level. I don't actually know exactly what their results were like when they were both NA pros, but I do believe Artosis has always struggled against In Control, and even those like show matches he was really practicing for.
Got a lot of AFK SCVs in the top right too that were building depots. Not a huge deal, I guess, but some by the command center, some by the depots. Like Artosis has had a lot to deal with. But he's just got a lot of like AFK SCVs, even as natural too. There's like 10 SCVs not doing anything right now.
Sounds about right in this game. But no, it's a very good point. Whereas maybe if you looked at In Control's economy, like maybe there wouldn't be such... Yeah, there's not nearly the same thing going on. Now, Boris asks, is Radiate AoE or single target? So it's both. It does a lot of damage to the single target it hits, and then it also does AoE damage. There's also a thing called an eraser, and you cast like a Radiate on your own science vessel, and then just run over a bunch of drones in the mineral line. It would be cool to see that, but I don't like Artosis isn't thinking about doing any fancy tricks. He's thinking about surviving. This game is still, I want to say it's close, but I actually feel like In Control is in the lead. Like, his army is going to be so good, and his economy has kind of been untouched.
Well, Yeah, it's hard to say. Like right now, with Artosis having more supply, it looks better, but so much of it's like these real frail Marines that are just gonna die to lurkers a lot of the time, I think, right?
Yeah, the army composition, unless you can really, I think, outposition the Zerg player, or you like get all their defilers all the time, is just better for the Zerg player. It's like, I don't know what the equivalent would be, like EMPing High Templars in a mass, like Charge of the Archon High Templar army or something like that. It's just, it's a good composition. It's also well upgraded, something I had it on the screen, but not necessarily talked about. Like, In Control went for double Levo pretty quickly, so he's at 2-2 versus just the 1-2. He's got some pretty nice counterattacks. I mean, Artosis is so close to being on 4 bases, and his production is rather good. That 40 supply lead looks very, very good, because most of us play StarCraft, but it's actually totally reasonable for the Zerg to deal with.
So we got Defilers finally out. We talked about these earlier. They do get irradiated immediately by Control, or by Artosis. Very nicely done. But I cast a couple of Dark Swarms before doing this. And I guess for those who don't know, it's like a reverse Blinding Cloud from StarCraft 2, right? Again, I know a lot of Brood War people here. Bear with me. Most of our audience is StarCraft 2. And units that are ranged just can't do anything. That's where the melee gets really, really good, as the Zerglings can start taking control of any fight underneath that the orange cloud.
Yeah. I wonder if he has adrenal glands. I'm gonna guess he does. I would hope he does. So tanks do have this weird dynamic sometimes if they're in splash mode. Enough tanks you can kind of shoot like into the Dark Swarm, but ideally you just wait it out.
Hits, but not their main attack, right?
I don't know exactly if that, like, there's some really weird mechanical thing that happens with Dark Swarm. Like, it pushes the attack off one square or some shit like that. But anyways, basically, we'll go with that. There was a plague. That's the red stuff you see, and that's why everything's so injured.
This is what we had talked about being kind of akin to fungal growth. It'll take everything down to 1 health, but can't actually kill it. And that would have been really nice if there could have been a follow-up to it. But the medics have healed up most of the Marines at this point, and it's just the tanks and the science vessels that are really low.
Artosis should be feeling pretty confident now that he's finally got his bases under control, but oh, here come the Ultras. Are they upgraded? They have 2 upgrades in Brood War. They have armor and speed. I guess what are going to be the new Ultras in StarCraft 2. They don't have the armor. Oh, they do, actually, 1+3. But
they just cross that bridge into
yeah.
show. You watch Artosis very calmly kite the Marines backwards. That was actually really well handled by him.
Yeah.
But there's an attack in the top right while this goes on, and while he's sieging up one of In Control's bases, In Control's looking to kill another command center, or at least take him out of his base.
Yeah, this is really nice because it's like, as I was talking about, I kind of said this like 3 or 4 times already, but Dark Swarm is usually a spell you just wait out. So it buys so much time, and the best thing you can do is just kill the Defiler with a Radiate, but you still have to wait out the Dark Swarm. So in terms of attacking and harassing with it, it is so annoying to take care of. You just kind of like preempt it.
Defense Matrix on the Marines, let them take a lot of hits on these Ultras. We should highlight too, Ultras don't do splash damage like they do as their StarCraft 2 counterparts.
That's a good point. Now, one thing that has been...
Oh, he trapped it with the medics.
To be like a tiny bit critical is that the Scourge haven't really, or I guess actually complementary to Artosis, either one, but the Scourge haven't been hitting what I think is still kind of a low number of science vessels. Finally, these 4 science vessels that seem that like they've seemed like they have lasted forever go down, or this one barely doesn't. But we also have some Lings finding, oh, just a group of units. I thought it was Command Center. My bad.
Yeah, same. It's just that nice cluster in the bottom right. I love the shift of the back and forth, though. Like, again, I'm not a Brood War expert. I don't know if this is a normal looking game or not, but what I do love, just as somebody who enjoys StarCraft in general, there's been so many different points of the game where each player looks like they're dominating, right? Like, with the siege up in the bottom left, that first fight against the Ultras, you're like, oh shit, how do you stop Artosis? And In Control's like by playing calmly and building a lot of Ultralisks.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the next step. It also really helped him use his minerals and gas, which were like for... Oh no! Okay, there we go. For a while there, we're getting quite high. And it's also the point where he was starting to do those counterattacks, and they're starting to work again. So Artosis was forced to focus at a million different locations, as well as control his army. So that science vessel count reset back down to 2. Tank counts are looking strong, but now he's on the defensive, and a 20 supply lead for the Terran is usually not a very good sign, especially now that In Control really has the perfect army. He even, oh my god, is he gonna infest the command center? Oh, is he really gonna do this? Please do it. Oh.
I've never actually seen this outside of playing custom games.
Scourge, I think. Oh, come on, I want to go for it.
Just so people are aware of what Zombie talking about here. In Brood War, the queens, which fly, right? Not on the ground. They can't attack. unlike their StarCraft 2 counterparts. They've got an ability called Infest Command Center. If it's low enough, like you can't do it right now, it's too high. If it's low enough, you can infest it. You steal the command center. So A, it's like effectively killing the command center. But then B, it can create infested Terrans, which is pretty dope. Big giant suicide bombers that deal like, is it like 500 damage or something insane?
I don't know exactly what it is because it's not seen enough, but it's like a Baneling on crack. It's like a Baneling and a nuke, I guess. So they're also like surprisingly fast. So you're just like, what the like, you don't expect them, and then suddenly they just literally run up on your army. I really hope we get to see that, but unfortunately, as you said, like if the commander doesn't take any more damage, it's not going to happen. We're in a bit of a base trade, but like Defilers make this, I don't know, I feel like it favors the Zerg in this situation. Although these bunkers are doing some work.
Yeah, holding strong. I mean, no health bars, but if we look at everything here, the ultras are kind of low. If you can deal with those, the Zerglings might not be so scary, but Cracklings in Brood War are way more powerful than Cracklings in StarCraft 2, so something to consider as each of these Dark Swarm fights may go down.
Someone in chat probably has the percentages, but I think it's a 40% to 20% in StarCraft 2, something like that.
Crazy.
So like double as fast. Things are certainly interesting, but with Artosis back down to basically 2-base mining against In Control, who has like extra bases at, you know, desperate times, he's just rebuilding all of his structures. He realizes.
Suicide Scourge! Oh, they don't make it into Science Vessels!
Oh, yeah, barely got the tail end of that. But yeah, In Control is accommodating very well for this base trade. So I don't think it's that big of a deal if he loses his natural or even his main.
Yeah, there's some SimCity here for Artosis in the main. They'll make it really difficult for In Control to finally push through, but he's starting to run out of some of that steam. But I fear that Artosis is going to run out of money before anything else. Oh, Plague on the army.
Yeah.
Plague on this army is huge.
Yeah, it affects everything. It basically takes everything down to 1 health, and it just blanketed. There's not that many medics, and then of course there's the mechanical
the tanks,
units. Right? Yeah, GG.
Ooh.
GG.
All right, well, In Control takes the Brood War match with 48 less APM than Artosis.
Told you, man. It's like the Protoss of Brood War.
Well, that's cool, I guess. So, I guess we'll have to ask these guys. The best of 3, I don't know if they're playing all the way through or if when we swap to StarCraft and In Control gets away and it's just over 2-0.
So, okay, according to the graphic anyways, unless they miscommunicated, it's just a best of 1 Brood War, and then the StarCraft 2 is a best of 3.
Okay. So 2 like little separate things.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what's going on, by the way, this was, I think, a Match Arena reward tier on the show, the Pylon Show, and one of their stretch goals, I think, was like a show match of sorts. So that's kind of cool that they A, met the goal to make it happen, and B, that they're following through with it. No broken promises with the Pylon Show.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think it would have been really cool to maybe get some like shit talk go down or something beforehand, but it's nice that they're getting these show matches done. I also like that they're off racing for StarCraft 2. I kind of made a joke about it yesterday about like maybe they don't want to show their true skill, but it's also just I don't know if I really wanted to watch 3 PvPs in a row.
Well,
I actually like PvP. I just don't know if I wanted to watch, like, I wanted a show match, you know, not just like them hitting ladder.
Oh, Jesus. Artosis just logged onto the North American server for the first time. So he unlocked Honor the Legacy, Leader of the Heavens Devils Commander, 2017 WCS Spectator, Premium Arcade, and the 20th Anniversary Twitch Viewer.
Perfect.
Clearly, Artosis only plays on Korea, and I love that fact about him. But I guess, I don't know, do we have like a preset map order of things?
I don't know. I don't even know how they chose Circuit Breaker. I think they just started talking to each other.
We got the show match before the swear jar tourney. Mate, look, this one's not on me, okay? This one's on Vorty and Maynard. They have like the most, like, I can't do anything schedule out of all of us.
Well, with that explained, I guess we're just waiting for them to log on. I can ask if preset maps or Vito.
I hope they pick super OG ridiculous maps to go with like the OG ridiculous theme of this. Also, you know what's cool, Zombie Grub? You know what's great?
What?
Looks like commercials are still broken, by the way.
Oh, yes, you're absolutely right. I just looked at my dashboard and 160 seconds of commercials are playing. All 3 minutes.
I want to test something. I want to do some science. Can you just refresh your page and then try and press the add button and tell me if it goes through?
Sure. Refreshing.
I'm doing science, guys.
Run.
If you get ads, let us know.
Commercial break failed. Commercial break only allowed once every
Yeah.
month.
Well, looks like we're not getting paid for tonight, but that's okay because this is still some fun times. This is like, I mean, the Brood War thing for me is I don't think I would ever be somebody who is full time into Brood War. I couldn't do Brood War like we do StarCraft 2, but it's enjoyable once in a while. And I I didn't really understand the complexities of that game, but it was really, I just sat back and enjoyed watching it. I hope you guys did too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now we get to StarCraft 2, something I do know very well, and this will be kind of fun to watch.
Yeah. I didn't get any answer because I don't even think they're really looking at Discord. But both of them are online. Artosis just has to maybe turn on whispers in the chat channel. Seemed to be a problem last time. I do hope that they pick some absurd maps. I want to see not just old maps, but like
Steps of War, dude.
Steps
of War.
Absurd. But like some of the weirder maps, like the ones with like gold bases and the ones that were in Pro League. I mean, they should play Fighting Spirit on StarCraft 2 or Coliseum. That map was so weird. It's so stupid. It was the Pro League map that was all rock, breakable rocks. Basic maps.
Basic maps.
Is this a match or a show match? God.
Well,
thank you, Karolski, for the tier 1 sub.
Actually, yeah, we missed a bunch of stuff. Guys, I'm going to do like a big list. We'll just, you know what we'll do? We'll just do no sub shoutouts right now. We'll just do a big list of shoutouts at the end because we're dancing around a couple different people here, and it's a little bit more difficult than usual.
Are you proud of yourself? Are you proud of what you just did?
I don't know if Icontrol's throwing shade or just being like really lazy with his responses. He's like, I don't know, pick up really basic maps. Something like Artosis would know, like, I don't know, Acid Plant. That's basic, right?
What is the 420-bit cheer sound?
That I certainly hope you're not doing 420 Zombie Grub.
But what is it? It sounded like me, maybe? I don't know.
What would your mother think?
But I don't know where it was from.
All right, I'm gonna pull the Zombie Grub job here. I'm gonna host the lobby and see if we can get everyone in here.
Oh, I didn't know he was serious about being Acid Plant.
I don't know. I figure we'll call the bluff, and if they want something different, we can get something different.
I really want to know what the 420-bit donation was.
It was shame, is what it was. You should not be injecting or downloading weed, and 420 is not a funny number, guys. Don't mess around with it.
I'm gonna sue you for taking my copyrighted voice.
Earth is screwed. Thank you for the 400 bits. He says, I got paid today. So should you.
Thank you.
That's $8.20, Zombie Grub. Hell yeah. We're getting rich swapping a Brood War. We should just do more of that.
Go. It's Terran versus Zerg, you guys. Incontrol's playing Terran. Artosis is playing Zerg. None of them playing their main race Protoss in StarCraft 2. None of them even playing their main race in Brood War.
Well, Incontrol, of course, at least through my experience with him, has earned a little bit of meme notoriety.
What would your mother think?
The tank is
The more I hear about it, the more I hear it, the more it doesn't sound like me, but I really can't tell if I'm just, you know, like doing that blinds your own voice thing. Uh-oh. Hold on, I broke it.
Oh,
There we go.
well,
I fixed it.
well, okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are kicking off the best of 3. So we had been a little confused about the format. It was just one Brood War off-show match type thing, and now we're in like an actual best of 3. Playing their off races here on the North American server. To the top left, we got Artie McFly. It's Artosis.
Hardy Micartosis.
Let's hope he doesn't go back in time and accidentally erase himself.
The bottom right, as the blue Terran, it is in control.
Yeah, better known as the Watcher. So to explain this nickname really big, because you guys will probably see this meme come up in chat. Also, thank you, Diesel, for the bits. In Control, I'm not sure if this originated before the Twitch Rivals brawls or if it was cause and effect, but during the free-for-all brawls we cast during the summer, In Control was playing in this 8-person free-for-all battle. And he decided to one of the games after losing the first, I think, 2 or 3 off races Terran. And his plan was never move out of his base. And I'm not joking. What he did was he built like 3 command centers. He built like 1 million widow mines and missile turrets. Like so much that that was all his base was. Just covered every pixel in something sort of defensive structure, and spent the rest of the game scanning all the other players and just telling people what was going on. Thus, he watches and became the Watcher. The really crazy sick thing about that though is like this was with other good players, so like M. Canning, Nathanius, Vibe, etc., and they were all playing their main races. And it came down to a final 2 situation with the clock reaching its conclusion, meaning the game would time out and Vibe was set to win the game. Vibe offered In Control a deal though, and he said, if you subscribe to me on Twitch, I'll leave the game and you can win. So In Control's like, deal. And Vibe left immediately.
Wow.
So he won. He won with Terran. It was so sick. It was so stupid, but so sick.
Those were very, very silly. Now, In Control plays decent Terran, usually like in typical 1v1s. He was laddering yesterday with it, and I think he's a Masters 1 Terran. I have
not a phase. I was born around attack.
I have no idea what Artosis' Zerg MMR is. I mean, he hasn't shown himself playing StarCraft 2 as, you know, even his main race Protoss in quite some time.
I feel like there's a little bit of Rifkin and Zombie Grub in this matchup. In terms of like, everyone always wants these guys, like whether it's you and me or Artosis In Control, to do like these show matches, not realizing that like there is going to be clearly someone who is probably better. In my case, it's Zombie Grub, sadly. And these matches are a little bit difficult to play with that kind of knowledge in mind. But I think if Artosis approaches this similar to the way I would approach it, just try and have some fun with it. You know, it's not a really big deal. Maybe put your pride on pause for a little bit. You might actually find yourself doing something so silly that actually works. Because I've taken a game or 2 off Zombie Grub, guys. Rarely, but it happens.
It's true. Now, In Control's already playing kind of weird even before he slapped down that second factory. He built a bunker at the front, and yeah, that's a little weird nowadays. He also doesn't bother building a wall, which is always good against Zerg, right? But I figured he was going to do like something like Hellion, Hellbat, Cyclone push once the second factory went down. Hey, that's totally cool, and to be honest, even if Artosis was like okay with Zerg because his mechanics are decent, I don't think he plays it that often. This is a guess, though. You know, I could be wrong. And the best thing to do against a Zerg, especially a Zerg who doesn't play very often, is do something kind of weird and cheesy and all-in, because they're far less likely to know how to drone and accommodate appropriately.
Well, that was a nice control there by Artosis to take out the Reaper, but I was going to say chat's been harping on it, and I kind of agree. In Control, what are you doing? You're building all your bases within your own base. What a mistake right from the get-go. But I don't know, Artosis might not play a lot of StarCraft 2, but he knows it. The thing is, and this is where I can take my experience, right? I think Artosis objectively, by the way, is still a better player than me. I'm not drawing comparisons there, but it is something where Artosis talks about StarCraft 2 probably more than he plays it, similar to me. And that being said, you can still pick up so much from watching this game. And even though you might not have a lot of practice, just knowing what to do because you've seen Sue do it 100 times, actually puts you in a not bad spot to play the game.
It's not bad, but that's usually like I'm having the same like problems. It's like I know what to do as a Zerg generally, like timings generally, but as far as macro mechanics, like consistently using Larva, my macro's okay, but obviously not Zerg perfect, and it's one of those also increasingly obvious things when I try and take engagements, because that's just things that you need to literally practice, no matter how much you know or how much you've studied the build order. The ebb and flow of Zerg in particular being very difficult. So I think that's where we'll see them mess up, basically, both of them. Like when you off-race, your control of your engagements is usually the first thing to be super obvious. And you're like, oh, okay, these guys don't actually play this race. They don't know what their hotkeys want to be, and so on and so forth. Not nearly as clean as they would if they were playing Protoss. People, I can't tell if people are like now trolling about like commentators and who beats who, or there's legitimate questions going on.
Listen, you cocky, rude bitch. Just because you can beat pretty much everybody doesn't mean you gotta be so condescending about it.
Can I though? Is that where I was going with that?
That's where I'm gonna take it because it's a lot more fun. But we got vehicle weapons coming out of Control. I guess we didn't really highlight this, but going down the path of mech. I appreciate this. He's also going for Widow Mines, which I really enjoy because it is the classic Watcher move to do. So he's going for mass Widow Mine with Drilling Claws, something that is so trolly. But if we can talk about this in a real setting for a second, it actually works pretty well against the Zerg player who doesn't really see this coming, or more importantly, in Artosis' case, won't be used to like doing a last-second spread to avoid this. There's a player on Europe for a time, and a couple of North Americans too. Lily Canine comes to mind as well, where if you would see Roach Hydra, you would just make Mass Widowmine as a bit of a joke, but it would work. And it was always so surprising that it would work. It's like a one-shot wonder, but it could still wipe out an entire Zerg army. So In Control just needs to walk up to Artosis, say hi, burrow, and kill him.
It's a bit memey, but it can work. And in this specific game, I think there is just a problem that In Control just seems to be a better Terran than Artosis is a Zerg. Maybe people were like, well, it's BM, or maybe it's like calling the game too soon in a weird way. But Artosis, I mean, first of all, his injects have been a little wonky. His gas to mineral counts have been a little wonky. But, like, he's at 44 drones, having taken no damage, and been supply blocked multiple times, so his attack doesn't look that good. Against In Control's 52, and that's just not where you really want to be as a Zerg player up against a Terran. So, he also has, like, no scouting, so he has no idea, like, what the composition is, and these Widowmines are already burrowed.
Okay, Artosis saw those last ones burrow, and that alone, just seeing 4 Widowmines is scary. But In Control, it's a little bit trolly. Let's be real. This is not a very real Terran build, but it's something I've seen work before. So it's funny and it's ridiculous, but also thank you, Terminator, for gifting out 5 subs in the chat. Much appreciated, dude. But In Control, I really like this because for me, this goes right back to the Watcher memes. It just goes Mass Widowmine. I think the only reason he detoured from this to make Cyclones was so he didn't get like all in early or something. In fact, I would love if he just killed off his Cyclones. Doesn't need them. Needs a supply for Widowmines.
It's like when I accidentally don't mono battle after saying I was going to mono battle. You just kill off whatever unit you accidentally made.
The thing that's really unfortunate for Artosis, though, right? Like building Roaches as he is, and a couple Ravagers that'll come with it. Like he would, in a perfect world, have the means to deal with this, but it's gonna catch him so off guard.
Oh my gosh, here it is. He sees it
Here
with
we
the
go.
tumor.
LOL, all caps. Artosis can't engage. This is walk away.
Yeah. So I don't know if Artosis is going to think about what to do here, but in a very weird way, Banelings can be very effective against this. Swarm Hosts, you think the idea is going to work, but then they're going to run over the Widowmines accidentally.
Right, they're actually too slow to get the Locusts in on top of the Widowmines. And there's no friendly fire. Widowmines don't splash each other.
Yeah.
The thing I thought he was going to do, that I'm surprised he didn't, was just make Ravagers. You can cross the bile. Easy peasy.
Or that, yeah. I mean, Banelings, there's always the risk that the Widowmines burrow first, so that's like a little problematic, but then Ravagers, typically they can get in and get out. So, oh lordy, the burrow was so fast. They almost actually got those.
Well, he also did something that I'm not a big fan of. He actually target fired with all the Widowmines, so they would have all gone off on like 5 units.
They're unnecessary. When the new patch hits, this is going to be super obnoxious, by the way. Oh.
Yeah, small amounts are not that great. The reason Mass Widowmine works is the mass part of it. Like you actually have enough to execute instead of just do some damage and then walk away. But no, Locusts are pretty good. He targets all of them. No, see, don't Control. Why are you focus firing?
Habit, maybe? Like hoping to get the inner part of the army? I don't know.
I'm used to playing a real race where you have to micro things and target fire.
Sure. Oh, it looks like he watches Fear Dragon's team games. He's gonna go into Thor's past his Widowmines. Not really sure how to explain this one.
Well, two questions arise from this. One, is it a response to the Swarm Hosts? I think it's a very actually legit reason to go for anti-air to deal with the Locust. But two, we're gonna learn something about In Control tonight, guys, and that's, does In Control have a Thor skin?
Yeah. I don't know. Like
I don't know either.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but I was gonna say I don't know about the Thors, like, because he's gonna like I feel like he's afraid there might be mutas.
Is it the 4th of July?
That's probably what it is, right? He's just afraid it's mutas because he gets 2. Okay, now he's like sort of going back in a regular mech, in which case Thor's comboed with like Hellbats and stuff are fine, but.
Third base zombie grab the Widowmines that aren't on cooldown.
Oh, sorry.
Rest in peace. Those Thors though, where are they at?
Not back home. They don't have any medevacs.
He does not.
Spray them around.
Guess
Yeah.
he's a European fella. That was American.
That doesn't make any sense. So, anyways.
Well, because he doesn't have a Thor skin.
I don't think that's the difference between America and Europe, though.
Oh, I believe it certainly is, Zombie Girl.
I don't know.
I've seen a lot of players like Hero Marine, got the Emojin skin.
Oh my gosh, Atosis just made 23 more drones. I mean, he replaced the ones that he lost, so that's very good.
Yeah, the Widow Mines are a little bit silly to watch, especially when one Locust gets to just fire away at several of them. But Widow Mines are incredibly inexpensive in terms of what he's doing. And being able to mass produce them, well, perhaps a bit of a meme. Still, it's not expensive for in control. The resources lost right now are a little bit in Artosis's favor, but not by a whole lot.
Nah, not by a whole lot. And now that In Control is going over into some solid mech composition as well, like the Widow Mines are just going to be the beginning, and then suddenly, I mean, I actually hope that once he's maxed out, as soon as the Widow Mines take care of a wave of Locusts, that he just ends up pushing through. I'm not sure Artosis is prepared to deal with a mech army, especially without the Locusts. He doesn't have a lot of Ravagers. He just simply doesn't have. It looks like 155 supply on, it says 105 supply right there in the text, but it doesn't really look that way.
Splash damage from these Widow Mines is kind of nice, but the cooldown on the Locust, I believe, is actually faster than the cooldown on the Widow Mine. So it's a little bit awkward watching this trade out.
It's an
But he
interesting
pushes up, now the Locusts are on cooldown. Tanks and Cyclones hop on top of the Roaches and Swarm Hosts, and of course with them on cooldown they can't fight back. Just a lot of dead supply for poor Artosis.
Doesn't even need to wait for his max out. Like, he's maxing out as he pushes, but this was a really well executed push as soon as he got rid of the Locust, as I said.
Oh. I was wrong, by the way. Locusts have a longer cooldown. I thought it was the reverse.
I thought it might be that way, but I really never thought about it, so I didn't bother trying to correct you because I really didn't know. So the real power to is usually Hellbats with Blue Flame to help take care of those Locusts. So far it's been Widow Mines, like, weirdly enough, but now that it's back to a normal composition, that Blue Flame is finishing up, and the Hellbat should be more to help protect these tanks and these stores.
For people asking about the drone losses, 36 dead in total. These Widow Mines have not killed that many drones this game, honestly.
Yeah. They always look splashy, but the resources lost still being in favor of Artosis. Total units lost is, oh my god, it's 64 Widow Mines.
Okay, units lost, sure, but look at the income graph really quick, too. For everything Artosis has been fighting against, he has been losing the income war very badly. I didn't even realize how much In Control was ahead.
That goes back to when I was bringing up that I think In Control is just the better Terran player. Like, Artosis was at 42 drones, and he wasn't, like, all-inning or anything. He hadn't taken any damage at that point. He just simply was building army when he should have been droning. It's, lack of scouting, lack of familiarity with the race, like, so on and so forth.
What we need to do is, the pilot show is not just Artosis and In Control. A large part of it is Cobra Venom. And maybe we need Cobra Venom to Archon mode with Artosis against In Control.
You think so? Artosis is really pushing the Stormhost thing, man. But oh my god, look how many Stormhosts he has. Like,
He's a 37 Swarmos!
That's insane. That's too many.
Because the thing too is, like, he's not staggering them. Like, this would actually work against what In Control has right now if they came in waves. But Artosis has been kind of freaking out, throwing them in all at once, not a lot of micro on the actual Swarmers themselves, so they're all dying to the same splash damage. But you send one wave in, the Widow Mines are in cooldowns, and the second half in, suddenly you can kill the tanks.
It's also, when you see these compositions really bring a game back.
I like this.
He's starting to do it. Is usually you also see a lot of Ravagers with them, because they can kind of help kite down Hellbats chasing after everything, as well as just, take pot shots with Corrosive Biles while the Locusts are on cooldown.
Bloody Artosis does this so well, right? He's like, all right, I'll just use like 9 of the Swarm Hosts. Then he uses the other 31, all of the same wave. Now he's got nothing to stop the main push because they're all on cooldown.
Yeah.
31 Swarm Hosts for 28 more seconds.
I love that Artosis now he's almost at Broodlords, and with a bank like his, that is kind of scary. In Control has no anti-air, and Julian Claw Widow Mines don't really count. But I don't know if he's going to be able to get there. He has to actually give away Swarm Hosts to get the supply.
Yo, someone's saying Artosis and In Control versus Rickman and Zombie Grub. I wouldn't want to embarrass Artosis and In Control like that, guys.
I mean, what did they ever do to you guys? Why would you want to embarrass them like that? We're pretty good at Archon mode, all right? This isn't even like, it's not even really a contest, to be honest.
It's partial memeing. I'm feeling cocky enough to say I think we could beat them, but
pretty sure
if you guys... Zombie and I haven't practiced Archon mode in like 2 years, but like what we did, here was the trick, right? All right, Rifkin, here's 6 units, you get nothing else for the rest of the game. I'm like, Awesome. These are my MOBA. Widowmine's coming to the front line, but it's not going to actually hit. Tanks plenty here for In Control, and Artosis might just get something near the Locust Wave.
No. Oh my god, the splashback. No.
Friendly fire from the Widowmines and from the tanks is just going to be worse than the Swarm hosts themselves.
Oh, well, they ended up targeting the Widow Mines, actually. So, like, all these tanks survive. All right, there's the next wave.
Artosis, you got to quit shooting your load like this, dude. This is, well, it worked this time, finally. Oh my god. He splits them. The micro!
The micro is absolutely real. Look at this. Artosis has brought this game back. In Control is like these. Oh no, In Control.
Well,
you stop memeing right now.
Yeah, he's memeing really hard. The second I saw Neo Steel Frame start up, we're like, okay, all right. He doesn't want to embarrass Artosis that much, but he'll embarrass himself. Now, maybe In Control is memeing, or maybe he meant to do building armor. This was a mistake. As a non-Terran player, those two upgrades are right next to each other, if you're not familiar with it.
They are. But it certainly would be better to get building armor instead of Neo Steel frames.
Dude, Conchefi once as Artosis In Control would annihilate Rifkin and Zombie Grub. Lol.
It's just false.
Cobra Venom. Put it up on the fucking reward tiers, dude.
Yeah.
I want some free money.
Yeah.
Rifkin and Zombie Grub versus Artosis In Control. We'll make it happen.
Oh yeah, we're doing this. Oh yeah. Now, I mean, part of the reason we won some of those Archon games was that we knew how abusive the new units were in Legacy of the Void, but I think we could still do it.
This has been quite the wild ride for watching In Control, because he's gone for some serious and not serious. Like, I feel the waves of him playing this game have been try hard, not try hard, Goofer and Widowmines, try hard. Like, he comes in now with the real attack, like a real composition. He's got Hellbats with that blue flame to cover those tanks. The Swarm hosts will not be as effective as they have been.
Oh, but he didn't know about the Brood Lord, so he has to abandon ship.
Oh, it's a battle cruiser then. I love battle cruisers, like the biggest unit the Terran army has, and they're also the biggest wusses. You get hit shot by like a queen for 4 damage, you're like, abandoned ship!
Battle cruisers really are the weakest personalities, that's not the right words. Mentalities, there we go, of any StarCraft unit. Well, that and a Zealot who's like, I trained 100 years, but we can never hold.
Oh, interesting. The base here is still under attack. There's Widowmines to the very north side too. Artosis is on 4 bases, but not mining for 4 bases. His main's mined out. His natural's pretty empty. And well, maybe he just took a couple of good fights. He doesn't really have any source of income.
Well,
Kind of like a Twitch streamer.
Fortunately, Artosis had a huge bank that he's able to replace a lot of things. And as long as he doesn't lose his army, and it's a free unit army, that is not a sign of things to come quite yet, but it is obviously not good. And In Control is out adding on a bunch of starports to help take care of these. I hope he makes Banshees as well.
He's got some good responses on the other side of the map. He lifted his command center and ran the SCVs away. So the Swarm hosts that were killing his third don't actually net that kill, and he goes right back to mining. So nicely handled down there.
Yeah. But more Locust Waves. I mean, when In Control's not able to push because the Brood Lords are stopping it, the Swarm hosts are getting a lot of free waves down. They're doing a lot of denied mining. Unfortunately, they're only doing it on like 1 base at a time. They're not even being sent over here, which is a very accessible base. Looks like In Control's not paying attention. I don't know about that. He just lost all of his tanks, but maybe he was trying to focus with the Widow Mines, which only got 5 drones.
They walked away into the main base, but there's nothing for them to really kill there, which I think is hilarious. I wish the game tracked dead locusts, by the way, like on the units lost tab, because thousands. It's got to be in the thousands. Like, there's been so many Swarm hosts this game, just constantly launching wave after wave after wave. But 113 Widowmines have died in the course of this game.
The number just keeps growing. The Brood Lords take out that command center super quickly. The Widow Mines are getting some more damage done kind of all over the map, and they're both severely down on economy, but obviously In Control has the mules. And oh no! Classic Zerg mistake. No anti-air once Vikings appear.
Oh.
Classic.
Yeah, look. Even though Swarm hosts fly in the sky, they can't shoot up. And these Brood Lords are just all for naught.
And seriously, In Control should just go for Banshees now, and there's nothing the Swarm host can do about that. Come on. No? Okay. Just more Widow Mines instead. That's the answer to everything. And they've still been getting kills, like drone transfers every now and again. Oh, and Blue Flame Hellions.
How many drones have died total this game, by the way? 94. Oh my god, we're getting close to triple digits, guys.
We just need 5 more drones killed. Artosis has 13 drones. He's building 27 more. This can definitely happen. It's gonna happen.
Wait, he's building 27 drones right now?
Yep.
Artosis,
Yep.
why?
He has the that is all of his mineral bank. By the way, all these tech labs are on the starports. Exactly what I wanted to see.
Here comes a bunch of Vikings. I know what I'll do. Drone. There's no way they can hurt me. Oh no, they can land! I didn't know that!
Oh, it's like, oh, that was a 4th of July explosion right there. Locust end up winning though.
Firework!
Like,
110 workers dead, by the way. 110 workers dead.
Oh, well, finally did it. Yeah, it's just the kill count keeps going up. And now we're at, oh, this is Gumiho flashbacks. There's not going to be any supply for Artosis. He has nothing to deal with these Vikings.
And we do finally have Banshees coming out of In Control too, by the way. So, as if this hasn't been a problem enough, Artosis is finally going to, I think, have a nail hammered into his coffin for this first game.
Oh, no. Oh, 5 Banshees are about to pop. And these swarm hosts are the last thing Artosis really has going for him. And they're about to die. They definitely cannot be replaced. The economy, the supply, 146 out of 88. Oh, these tanks are really awkward.
See, getting into production now is something I really wish he could have gotten earlier, right? This would have like really put a hamper on what In Control was doing. Oh, In Control, by the way, is the Banshee skin, funny enough. I haven't seen this yet in game. This looks pretty rad.
Oh, it's pretty cool, yeah. I mean, this game, there was a time where Artosis seemed to have almost brought it back, and, you know, look at the supply right now, and the army supply is currently in favor of Artosis, but it's not good army supply. So this game has been over for a while, but, you know, he maybe learned his lesson. You know, he's reminded how to play Zerg. I don't know.
Also, all right. Calm down, dear Twitch chat. Now we know why Artosis plays Brood War. They're off racing. I mean, yes, Artosis plays Brood War. It's his game of choice. He's less practiced than StarCraft 2, and that's fine. But on top of that, neither of them are playing the race they are most comfortable with. So feel free to judge. Just know you're doing it very ignorantly.
Yeah. Well, at this point, Artosis is... I don't know what he's thinking he can do to bring this back.
Can we discuss
But-
actually just how awful Vikings are at killing locusts? Jesus.
Can we revisit a Pylon Show topic and talk about, you know, players leaving too early? What was Artosis' feelings on that?
If you guys don't know what Zomgrip's talking about, you can go back and watch every episode of The Pylon Show on
Hey.
Artosis' YouTube channel. Timestamps included with every episode. Zomgrip and I have both been guests on the show. YouTube.com/Artosis, The Pylon Show.
Perfect. Perfectly done there.
What's our code today, Cobra? Oh, sore loser? All right.
Oh, shit. Oh, snap.
All right. This game is without a doubt over, but it's the first one in a best of 3.
No. I think actually in the same conversation, Artosis brought up that In Control once banner muled him, and he like had to have a serious discussion with him and never do that.
Right. They had like the talk.
Oh, no.
113 drones now dead. Not a lot more available to even die in the first place.
What is Artosis' plan? I guess he was maybe thinking like Stag Defense would give him a chance, but worst case scenario, it's a draw because In Control just lift all his buildings.
By the way, I would like to just start my 3-part apology to Artosis when he watches the VOD later.
Right, me too.
You are an excellent caster, an awesome family man. I couldn't start to compliment your many achievements and accolades that are far greater than mine. And
Oh. So, you know, okay, so the ads aren't playing, at least not currently, but do you know what is now news to me? You know how many
What's
viewers
that?
we have right now, Rifkin?
How many? I'm not looking.
Non-viewers.
Oh.
N-A-N.
Shout out. Oh, dude, I love non-bread. Thank you to all those doughy people tuning in right now. Have I ever told you about my secret bread recipe, by the way?
Bed or bread?
Bread.
Gotcha. No.
Oh, I can't. It's on a need to dough basis.
Look how many banshees. It's gonna be 26 banshees.
Yeah, is this, excuse me, is Zombie upcasting? Is this a Sunday tournament for women only? Because goddamn, the Banshee.
I was like, where are you going with this? Oh, great minds think alike. Godolin was right there with you, right in the same wavelength. Artosis, this is him testing how much, you know, we can shoot the shit, I guess. GG!
No, I think there was strategy with this. I think Artosis was trying it on purpose because he was spending the extra time in this game planning ahead for the next game.
Okay, sure, we'll work with that. He's gonna think about his, you know, next map choice as well. I'm still hoping for like Shakura's Plateau or something, but it's fine. It's fine if you want to do a basic map. It's okay.
Basic maps.
Not a number of viewers. Well, currently you all don't exist.
So Artosis, I'm like, what's the next map? And he says any map. So I'm like, Steps of War? Question mark.
Is there a Mrs. Steps of War?
He says anything is fine with me, guys. I think we gotta make it happen.
But we have to really think about this now that we have the power, right? Like, Rifkin, use this power wisely. Is it Steps of War, or is there another one you can think of?
Xel'Naga?
I can't think of any, like, I can't think of the other absurd maps that I know of existed. Like, Colosseum is the one the only one I can think of that's absurd. And that one was just really stupid.
I'm making Xel'Naga Caverns. We gotta do it. It's Artosis after all. It's in control. These are like the OG guys.
You know, it would be, I don't know what GSL game it was that Artosis had the Artosis pylon that then birthed the meme. But if we knew what that map was, I would love to play on it again.
So I presume they're either going to both decline this lobby invite or join and say what the fuck.
Yeah, we're on Caverns, by the way, guys. Not any of that.
Xel'Naga Caverns.
Not any of that Xel'Naga. What was the other one? There's another one that was called Xel'Naga, but I forgot what it was. GSL 2014 or something.
I should have made an easy money map for Artosis this chat.
The Carbot mod. I don't know if they would have done that. I was thinking like Fruitland as well as a really weird one.
Fruitland was a good meme, but it's been done to death, I feel. Lost Temple is a bad suggestion in the chat too. We got optional player really wants Metalopolis.
Really wants it.
But yeah, if you guys are just tuning in, this is game 2 of the best of 3, and we are really going through with this. We are actually getting into Xel'Naga Caverns. This is such a tiny, old, and bad map. We've hit the Koreans with some of these OG maps just as a bit of fun for some of these show matches, and they always even go like, what the hell, why?
Yeah.
There was
Because it's
gold
fun.
on this map? This
Yes.
map was old enough to have gold bases?
Oh, hells yeah. Oh, hells yeah. We'll go over the map in detail after the introductions. In the top right, up 1 as his off-race Terran, it is in control.
I really do regret not picking the Carbot mod for this. But yeah, in the bottom left, up for the challenge of a full reverse kill, we have the orange Zerg player, Artosis.
Yeah, secret hallway in control. Jesus.
Faceless, dude, the banana hallway.
Oh my god. New Gettysburg was also kind of a meme map. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Ugh. That was gross. That was also when Cyclones are really overpowered. Anyways.
Well, for those just to inform, again, if you happen to join us here on a bit of a Friday night, this is a reward tier from the Matcherino for the Pylon show. I've not been asked to advertise this, but I just watch it all the time, so I want to share it with you guys. Like, the Pylon show is every Wednesday. It's on InControl's Twitch channel. It's on Artosis's YouTube channel if you miss it. They usually have a pretty good spread of guests. I've been on a couple times. Zombie-Rob's been on a couple times. And the topics are usually pretty fun. But I think what I really like that they do, even with their new sped-up version of it, is I got to give some credit to these guys for going over This Week in StarCraft. Because while once in a while we'll try and mention other tournaments going on while we're casting, it's nice for these guys to kind of like the biggest dogs in the StarCraft scene to not just highlight, but also acknowledge things like these pizza tournaments and other smaller events that you guys might not have heard of or seen before. So it's really cool. I think the project of the Pylon show. So shout out to Cobra Venom, guy behind the scenes, InControl and Artosis, for putting on a good show every week.
Yeah. I'm also, I do love that segment. It's such a good idea for them to include that. I also am glad that they have shortened it officially. something.
Yeah, oh, I just feel
less
like
than
poor
an hour.
Artosis, the week In Control was gone. He went through like 40 minutes of it. The poor guy.
It was consistently 40 minutes or more, and I was like, you know, I don't know about this.
You know, I said I wasn't gonna say this joke on stream, but fuck it, guys. Has anyone else thought about this? How when In Control isn't there, it is the Artosis pylon show. He's all alone. But a shower thought crossed
Well-
anyone else's mind? Because I can't stop thinking about it.
I guess people are gonna bring up that there's always guests, so he's never truly alone.
Yeah, they're just unpowered gateways.
Oh, we didn't see that In Control. The factory
Certainly
is
not.
found, although it's kind of an amusing thing to try and hide a factory in this matchup. I said we were gonna go over the map, and then we kind of didn't. But like, it's a very short map. Obviously, the beginning of StarCraft was all about small maps. It was far more about one base play, or like two base in Zerg's situation than it was about, you know, long macro games where the third base is almost a given. You have the secret hallway, of course. There's some brush back here that a lot of pylons were hidden behind. You have an atrocious third. You either go down, put yourself on the lower ground and take this third, or you have to break the rocks and take the gold,
Yeah.
which puts you literally halfway across to
Well-
your opponent.
So I picked these older maps as a bit of a meme, but if you think about it, this actually favors Artosis in a weird way. Because In Control, a big part of why he won that first game, good macro off of many, many bases. Not
Okay.
something he'll be able to pull off on this one.
All right. You know what? I can see that. I would say that nowadays, like Fracture, for instance, it's maybe scarier for Zergs, especially if they're not going to cheese. Artosis is currently going for 2-base Lair Roachwarren, which is not cheese yet, unless he adds an evolution chamber and goes for like drops with that Overlord speed, which I hope he does. And I hope he also gets a lot of queens with that too, because what we have for In Control is not Mass Widowmine, but something that is legitimately going to be very good against roaches. That is double Banshee. Oops, excuse me, double Banshee.
It's a dick move, but we should note, queens are really good at stopping Banshee. So are spore crawlers. So yeah, if he's caught in the middle of the map, this might suck for Artosis. But if he catches wind of this with a scout and he just builds like 3 extra spores or 3 extra queens, it's not.
We're wrong.
Of course. You know what? The mistake you made, Zombie, was assuming In Control was going to play meta style. Like, what could be? I'll be innovation. Double port Banshee.
Is Banshee that meta right now?
Well, innovation it is, I think. But double Ravens. You know what you can do with double Ravens, Zombie Grub?
Throw down missile turrets? Or auto turrets?
You can watch everything.
You'll detect everything as well. Oh, this Overlord. It might see the Ravens pop out, which is I think important, because then he won't prepare against Banshees. He's going to see it pop out. Yeah, okay. So, but I actually, okay, double scan goes down to reveal how many roaches are being built. And it's really important that Control did that, because honestly, if Artosis did just max out on roaches and move across the map, auto turrets wouldn't be able to hold. This is not a wall. You have to do like a stupid diagonal wall that takes forever to build. One tank wouldn't hold, but Artosis isn't even pushing out. Oh, no.
Oh no.
He builds. It's like last game, I guess you could say he saw the cyclones and thought like, oh, he's gonna cyclone Hellion all in me. But he just is like building army too soon and not using it. And it's heartbreaking.
Well, I guess
Oh,
the
there
Nidus
we
Worm
go.
is one way to get across an incredibly small map. I mean, the Overlord's just sitting in his main base. Look at this. In Control's got nothing to shoot that Overlord down. So ideally, there's nothing to stop the Nidus Worm. And I like this move. This is how Rift can beat Coca. Go Artosis!
Was Coca also doing Ravens?
No, he had real units. So, you know.
All right, I'm really happy to see Artosis actually using the army. I was really worried because he got the lair so fast, and there's no Nidus Worm. I was like, oh no, you're just gonna lose in the macro game again. But this could still do a lot of damage. I mean, auto turrets are no joke, and
Do it.
theoretically they're all gonna be in
Do
good
it.
positions. But there it is, and the scan did not reveal that, by the way. He has no idea about the Nidus Worm. Ravens out.
The Ravens are rushing back home. The SCVs go for this round, but if Artosis is quick on the draw, gets a transfuse, he should. There's just not enough damage here to actually stop the Nidus Worm.
There's also not a lot of Sim City for the tanks.
Oh, he didn't put the queens in first.
No,
He put the roaches in first.
Oh, you heard it? Oh no. Oh no. You know what this means? You are a far better Zerg than Artosis is, Riven.
No, shush. That guy in chat's gonna get all uppity again if you say that. Unfortunately, guys, the order in which you load the units is the order in which they come out. And then you can individually pick a Nidus Worm and click Queen to unload first. But if you're just doing a mass unload, I mean, ultimately they got 7 SCVs. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, but if the Queens are out first, they're transfusing the Nidus, then all the Roaches are out, all the Queens are out. And I think Artosis actually straight up destroys In Control's main base.
Agreed. Yeah, I would have loved to have seen the auto turrets in action because they all would have been. There would have been like 5 or 6 of them, and they all would have been, you know, they couldn't be microed away from. But we're not going to see that.
No. This is Artosis. The worst thing you could do against a player who has mass Ravens is go tunneling claws.
I saw that and I was like, I don't know about this. I'm also not even like sure about the Spire. He's not exactly on a huge economy, so I mean, you could get 8 mutas, and he kept those Roaches alive, I guess, for not going out of the Nidus Worm, but. I don't think he can get enough. I actually feel like Ravens and auto turrets are going to destroy all the mutas. If he goes mutas.
I just want to go back and highlight something that's happened because people are being really critical of Artosis. What he did, in theory, was a good move. We've seen pros do this all the time. The execution was just off because it's not practiced, which is important.
Yeah. They're all super telltale signs of someone who like recognizes how to play Zerg as like decent mechanics, but like doesn't actually have the practice. Where they're like, oh right, of course. You know, he knows this too. I'm like 90% sure that he knew Queen should go in first, and he just was like, you know, basically slapping his forehead as soon as he realized he didn't do that. So
I do like the Mass Muta swap though, quite a bit.
I don't know. We already had missile turrets rings, and I feel like Ravens aren't actually that bad at trying to respond. They got a speed boost a super long time ago. I don't know. I'm on the fence.
I'm actually curious. What's a buff a unit has received in the last 3 years of StarCraft that wasn't a speed increase?
I know they exist. I can't think of any right now, but they definitely exist. It's like when your siblings are like, whenever I ever mean to you, and you're like, you can't remember like the specific instance of a billion different instances.
You say I mean to you? Name exactly 5 times I mean to you, okay?
Like chat's gonna be spamming so many. I love these mass missile turrets. It's great.
Yes, this is a good way to deter Mutalisks.
Yeah, yeah, he saw the Spires, so it was. There's a reason for this, and you know what? Even Liberators, if you get enough Liberators, the splash will eventually work again.
Anti-armor on top of them.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
Are disgustingly good. Auto turrets are a little bit too scary to engage into as well, but realizing the Ravens are out of position, Artosis could play around this.
I feel like
he's gonna lose a hatchery, but it's so much more expensive if In Control loses all these Ravens.
Yeah, and he's about to waste too much energy. He needs retreating auto turrets as well.
No, go, Artosis! Yes!
Yes!
Fear nothing! The auto turrets do nothing. Okay, well, they kill a couple of mutas, but yeah, this was incredibly expensive for In Control to do. Now, it wasn't great for Artosis either. Let's not overhype this, but that was so much lost resources through 7 Ravens.
It was, and he didn't even need that many auto turrets. He could have been retreating and throwing out auto turrets on the retreat, and he would have been totally safe. But that was probably also one of those things that was akin to like the Widow Mines. At this point, In Control knows how much he's winning. Oh no, Liberators! I said it. You get enough Liberators, they're still pretty good against mutas, even if you try to magic box.
Well, missile turrets too. There's just a lot of them. In fact, In Control at the moment has 27 missile turrets. You know, game 1, he went the Watcher style in Widow Mines. Game 2, he's gone the Watcher style in missile turrets.
Tunneling Claws also doesn't do too well against missile turrets.
Well, in fairness, the missile turrets don't do much against Tunneling Claws either.
Oh, he never unloaded all of his roaches. He probably thinks he doesn't have... Does he think he lost him? Does he think he lost him? Oh no. No.
Well, it's only like 5. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, that's a good chunk of roaches.
Yeah. All right, so now we're going to see some Tunneling Claws. This base is undefended. To your point about the turrets not doing anything against Tunneling Claws. This one is protected by tanks, but this one is about to be protected by Liberators, I guess. There you go.
Guys, I'm going to take a moment to do a hot sell just while we're waiting. Because
secret hallway.
Oh my god, secret Ravagers in the secret hallway.
Secrets.
Yeah, this is the Ryan Seacrest hallway. That's a bad joke. I regret saying that.
Oh my god, I forgot when Zerg players had to take this port of the base. No, wait, that's not actually yours. This is yours. I don't know what happens anymore on this map. Is that meant to be hidden? Because it's scouted. It's not working.
Well, anyways, guys, I want to quickly highlight something that's happening tomorrow. 12 hours from right now is specifically why I bring it up. We got the BTSL round of 8 happening in the morning. We got Snoot versus Gumiho, Dark versus Kane, Cure versus Puck, and Nurchio versus Raynor. I hope to see many of you come out for that. That'll be 7 a.m. Pacific tomorrow morning.
Well, all the drones just got slaughtered. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Yep.
I love the Yamato cannon, by the way. I'm just waiting for battle cruisers. But I see Liberators, they siege up, they're great, but they're actually not that great against Ravagers. So Corrosive Battles from Artosis are not a bad idea, but In Control is just trying to win this caster's heart today. 5 battle cruisers at a time. That's a big old yikes.
Oh, no. The Liberators could take on the Ravagers because they have range. If they just... leapfrog? That's the word.
Wait, is Twitch chat right about this?
What?
Oh no, he did get Roche speed.
Yeah.
Someone
that
said
was...
Artosis didn't get Roche speed. I was like, wait a minute, no, he had to have.
That's what he got at the lair for, like, right off the bat, and then he didn't get the Night's Rune for a while. But it was a while ago. We're not gonna swarm host, but we have this problem, like, where it's not Banshees this time, it's battle cruisers, and swarm host can't do jack about that. Oh, well, this is awkward.
He's just constantly running out of the circles because he has to, of course. It's tough because Artosis actually, from his point of view, looks like he's starting to win some of the mid game, right? Okay, I'm trading with the Liberators. I'm stopping him from killing me. I took extra bases. He doesn't know that it's a big battlecruiser swap behind it, and there's no semblance of anything that can stop this. You're gonna need Corruptors. You're gonna need Hydralisks. Like, there's just nothing to deal with the battlecruisers at all.
Yeah. I feel like Artosis is the only gamer I've ever heard use the Phoenix announcer. Kind of forgot that was a thing.
And you don't log on to change it, Sombra.
Oh, he had to log on to change it to it in the first place, so that's why I'm surprised.
Well, maybe he got it when it first came out because it's cool. It's Brood War Phoenix, right? The idea?
Sure. Yeah, alright, yeah.
And then,
Alright, sure.
look, I know him as Talendar, okay? Big Battlecruiser Warpin', surprise!
And this is where Artosis realizes he can't win, probably.
10 Spore Crawlers per base. He's got 2,500 minerals.
Yeah, just, I mean, hey, that would stop the battle cruisers until they teleported to, like, behind the spore crawlers. And then you're just in trouble again. Not a bad idea, really, to use Swarm Host on a map like this. Like, it's so easy for them to go up into the literal main base production. But teleport will also work to jump on top of Swarm Hosts and then Yamato them down before they scurry away.
Well, the excess bases out of Artosis are being handled. Battlecruisers don't need vision to teleport, but the barracks is here to provide vision either way.
Yeah, you know, confirm that it's safe, I guess. Incontrol has so many extra bases and is now just skyrocketing ahead in that supply. 5 battle cruisers at a time.
People want In Control to Mana Mule Artosis, and I think that you are the worst people.
Yeah, especially if you watch that Pylon show.
Whoa! We actually just killed a battlecruiser with Ravagers. Not gonna be the efficient way to do it, but hey, you got the job done.
That's because I guess In Control was microing his other battle cruisers that are currently attacking 2 other bases.
Yamato!
It's pretty cool spell. We do have some Corruptors now out. 4, that took forever it felt like. But 4 will not kill 10 battle cruisers. So I don't know, fam. These Locusts are really trying to do their best. Oh, and they're found. Does he have Yamato? Yes, he does. He could target fire down every single one of these. Or they just don't run away, so the regular attack also works.
The burrow!
Oh, if only there
The
was
burrow!
orbital commands.
That was
with
such a
energy.
fuck you, bro. Like,
Right?
fuck you. Just have a make you scan me.
Oh,
You're
jeez.
just a better human than me. GG. Ladies and gentlemen, Artosis will fall and In Control will win both the Brood War and the StarCraft 2 show matches for the Pylon Show. But
What are you gonna do?
Hmm?
What are you gonna do? He was a pro for a lot longer.
yeah, I mean, In Control still plays. Like, a lot of people want to give him shit because he plays Warhammer and like XCOM and other things, but he still plays StarCraft regularly. As we kind of talked about, Artosis is more of the Brood War guy in the first place. I'm not making excuses. I thought, you know what? It feels bad losing. Even in a fun setting, it feels bad losing. But I thought that was a lot of fun, and I really hope you guys had a good time with it. It's sad seeing Artosis die, as a big fan of Artosis, but again, it was an off race thing. I don't think either of them are feeling too much pride hurting when it's a matchup that they don't normally, or a race and a match they don't normally play.
I would hope not. But as you're totally right, though, there's always a little bit of just like, well, I wish, because there's not just that you lost all 3 games, the 2 different games. It's also that you made some, I think, mistakes that you just are like, well, that just, like, I knew better. Like the Nidus Realm thing, I'm pretty sure Artosis knew better and just has to sit there and be like, yeah, okay, like I'm not good at StarCraft 2 right now. I need to, or Zerg StarCraft 2 anyways, so feels extra bad. Oh well.
People are saying we need to call and control. That's up to control and Cobra, I guess. So if you guys want to get set up, Cobra, message you on Discord. Maybe we can make it happen. But guys, I said I'd do a quick round of shout outs at the end because we did not do a bunch of individual shout outs today. So big thank you to Reldax for the 45 months, Shroom 5, thank you for the 46, Super Saiyan 2, Churro the Lemon, Digletto, Meat Brawl, Wolvins 50, Korolski was a brand new sub. Big thank yous to Terminator for those 5 gifted subs out there. Maito Manning, thank you for coming back for 41 months. It's just hi from a lurker. Menelker came back with Twitch Prime for 22 months. Jayun, I don't know who you are. I'm sorry that we missed it, but thank you very much for that host. Nikola Jakov. I'm afraid I'm going to say that so very wrong. Thank you for the 23 months. And if I missed your sub shout out, I do apologize. But thank you guys for your support of the channel. Like we said, ads couldn't run tonight. The Pylon Show's not paying us or anything. We just came out because I like In Control. I like Artosis. I thought this would be really fun. Win, lose, short, long. I had a good time. So thank you for joining me for this Zombie Grub.
Yeah, of course. It was a lot of fun. Happy to help observe Brood War.
Yeah. If you guys don't know, Zombie Grub is doing the handling of the stream today just because I'm not touching it. I can't do Brood War. Everyone yells at me when I do. I don't know what I'm doing. Hit F6, zoom in, zoom out. So she ended up just streaming everything today. So thank you for that. But yeah, I'm waiting for Cobra Venom's response before we take off, guys.
Well, while you're waiting, he does ask that we show off the Pylon Matcherino. So let me just make sure this is going to work correctly.
I can actually just go spam this in Twitch chat. The Matcherino page. Boop, 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 boop. Pylon Show, guys. Go click it. Go check it out. This is what helps them run their talk show. I had mentioned it during the match, but hey. Look at that guy. Thank you very much, In Control, for the Twitch Prime sub. But if you guys haven't seen, they've got some sweet ass merch. The Is It Though mug seems to be a pretty big hit. I think the Artosis Moon shirt. Oh, I should have worn that for this show match. Damn it, I didn't think about it. It's probably the best looking shirt out there.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Oh, damn. And the boy brings the hype. 10 gifted subs from In Control. Congratulations if you guys were lucky enough to not just get a gifted sub, but to get a gifted sub from In Control himself. Also, if you guys enjoyed the show match today, apparently there's a Pylon Show t-shirt show match. I haven't been asked to advertise this, but I think it looks pretty sweet. So spam it there in the chat if you guys want to get your hands on this to commemorate the day Artosis and In Control went head to head.
What an epic day it was, truly. I would have loved to see more Brood War, personally, with their main races. I think that was a lot of fun, but so be it. Just a show match.
I enjoyed it all around. Whether it was more Brood War, whether it was more StarCraft. I mean, again, I love In Control. I love Artosis. They're such figureheads in the community, but also just really fun and chill guys. So absolutely a blast. And an honor, frankly, that we got asked to cast it. Thank you again, Cobra, for reaching out to us. But yeah, he says, if you could show our Matcherino page. So we did that. Cool, easy peasy.
Let me show. Can I get a link to it?
Oh, I was spamming it in Twitch chat.
I was talking about the one for Ting. Oh, BTSL, right? But I guess.
Oh, are we gonna talk? Sorry, I'm still wrapping up Pylon Show stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Yeah. So that's it. All good stuff. Lots of fun. Big hype. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed watching 2 of your heroes duke it out with their off races. But as far as what's happening tomorrow, like I said, in about 7 hours, about 12 hours from now at 7 a.m. Pacific, we're going to be back with BTSL round of 8. That's going to start at 7 a.m. with Gumiho versus Snoot, then Dark versus Kane, then Cure versus Puck, and Nurchio versus Raynor. Each of these guys have already fought out for like between $1,000 to $1,500 for each of their regions to get to the round of 8. But now there's a separate prize pool of $3,000 they'll be competing for, and it all starts tomorrow and ends on Sunday. Zombie Grub will be joining me for the round of 8. I'll probably end up having to solo cast the grand finals, but either way, we've got a weekend of really good StarCraft ahead of us. And it's rare we can get players to play across servers, so this is going to be a super treat. I think I look forward to Snoot versus Gumiho and Cure versus Puck a lot, but yeah, good stuff.
All right.
Any plugs for you before we go? You got your Banshee tournament coming up on this weekend too, right?
Yes. You can follow me on Twitter at CG Gaming, Twitch Zombie Grub, YouTube Zombie Grub. The Banshee tournament Sunday at 7 in the morning Eastern time. So come check that out, and that'll do it for me. So I think we can just sign off now.
Before we do though, hang on. We haven't done this in a while because we don't usually have a lot of very active people in chat, but we got some active people in chat. I vote before we go find a little itty bitty StarCraft streamer. Not somebody who's like established. Like, don't get me wrong. I love people like Top and Vibe and Jim Rising and all these people who are streaming, but I want to find somebody who's small, who doesn't have a lot of viewers. Let's go make their night. Let's go find somebody to raid. I'm just kind of perusing through this list, trying to find somebody who has a decent looking stream. There's a Zerg player, I guess. Ugh. Actually, hold up. There's like 2 dudes playing StarCraft together. Are they casting? No, they're playing the game together. Let's host these guys. I've never heard of them before. I hope they're not bad people. Adro Seth. Here, guys, I'm spamming in chat. We're just going to go raid them. That's how we're going to end the stream tonight. So, again, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you all tomorrow morning with BTSL. Go make these guys nice. Give them some love. Blow them up with hearts. Good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.